And we're back for a game 2 between NoPing and Lava. Pretty much a comprehensive win there by Lava, but not a perfect one as we discussed. What do you want to see them pull out here? Let's talk about Lava first, Bowie, in the first game and second game here.
I mean, I think they should probably stick to what they're doing. That was a really good draft, by the way. Super straightforward. Not only that, but they destroyed their lanes. Obviously, there were a couple of hiccups along the way, but I think NoPing struggled so much that they were not able. Like at times, it felt like they could have maybe turned around, but I think Lava's laning stage was really good. Obviously, you could say maybe lag is there. All right, I'm gonna get my Brazilian lag card and say that the first game was a proven server. So if we're gonna see a better NoPing, it has to be now. All right, it's not gonna get much better than that. So
if you're gonna name yourself NoPing, then when you got low ping, you're gonna have to do well.
But yeah, I think that NoPing might try to go for their first pick Io Luna strategy. They played second pick there. It didn't really work that well for them. So maybe we'll see the Io Luna. But they actually banned it, even though it was second pick. Lava banned it. So we'll see what they do if NoPing has first pick, if they're still going to ban the Io or not.
Avo, is that what you'd be looking for them to do?
I mean, I kind of think you let them have the IO. I'm not, like, I don't think I know they've only won, but they've only played with IO Luna, and their win rate is pretty bad. So I think you just kind of let it go and you destroy them. And then the only thing is I don't want that to happen because I feel like if they break the IO Luna once more, NoPing might disband, and I don't want that to happen. I don't think the team is bad. But they've been having it's the only team in the DPC that I've seen throughout the season I think has gotten worse throughout the season. I think the initial games are better than what we're seeing now. And Lava's on the opposite end. So I don't know. I think this is all up to NoPing. I don't think Lava needs to play a specific kind of game or needs to do anything major. I think that last game, I know the players, dude. I watched Analog on Hokori for a year. The guy is not he's not only not a lane loser, but he's also not someone that will make mistakes like he did in that game. I think in that game, none of the players in NoPing, RDO aside, were really that impactful, and they're better players than that.
We spoke a little on the first panel about what relegation would mean for Team Lava, and you guys mostly felt it would probably be a slight disband moment because they'd probably consider themselves too good to play in the second division and wouldn't want to find new teams. For NoPing, what would relegation mean? Are these players the type who are going to want to work their way up from a lower division, or are they going to want to spread their wings and find other areas, Bowie?
I mean, it's a really rough one because I do know that they really have the whole year as a project for them. But I think about Monster that actually traveled. He's out of his country in Brazil, doesn't really know anyone. If you take that leap, you make that bet, and you go to second division right off the bat like that, I don't know what he would do. I don't know him personally. He might be, he might consider other options if they do drop out. I do feel like the other four and their coach will stick together. I don't think relegation would mean they would split up, but it's definitely sad, and it definitely lowers their chances towards TI. And I'm sure they consider that going to TI last place is the bare minimum. Anything else is they're gonna feel terrible about it. So going to second division definitely lowers those chances by a decent margin.
It's tricky as well for a player like Monster to relocate and maybe get relegated. Obviously, if they lose this series, they're not relegated. I believe for sure, but they're looking very much likely to. Lower division is a great thing to be able to support people, but not necessarily be able to support people who want to relocate. It's a big move. So is that something you definitely see happening with this team? Avo, if they were to go away, Monster having to step away?
I actually think Monster would stay, to be honest, because of where he's relocating from, right? If Monster was relocating from, I don't know, say SCA, for example, where you have a lot of comparative Div 2 teams and where there's a healthy scene and everything, fine. But North America is a barren wasteland of Dota. And most importantly, the real issue with reviving North America is that cost of living there is so extremely high that any salary or any sort of money you earn on DPC is negligible to what your living costs are like, right? Much more so even than Europe. Whereas in Brazil, that's not the case, right? So Monster might actually be getting a chance. I'm saying it from my own experience. This is how I felt when I started casting Dota, getting a salary. That when I moved to Malaysia, I realized, I can live off this. And before in Spain, it was I I can't. Straight up. Right? So I think Monster might be experiencing that, and I think he would actually tough it out. If I was him, I would definitely tough it out. I don't think Brazil is that kind of place where it's like, oh no, what a crazy land I've gotten into, right? It's standard. I think a lot of American places are actually kind of similar in that sense. There's a lot of vast extensions of land, cultures are similar. I think the person they'd be losing is RDO, if I'm honest with you. I actually think RDO is the person that would leave. Because RDO last season, if you guys remember, he qualified to Div 1 in Europe, in Western Europe of all places. And he had to leave because of visa issues, right? He is a top tier carry. He's the best performing player on their team consistently every single match. If I was him, I would be looking at other opportunities if I was relegated, because he has them. Like, he is looking really, really hot right now. And if you're a carry, you want to take advantage of the first 3 years of your career to take advantage of that.
We're moving into a draft here. Outward Devour ban on NoPing with the Brewmaster ban on Lava. Brewmaster, is this... I have to admit, I've not seen a huge number of games of a Brewmaster.
Monster hero.
Is it just a monster
NoPing
hero?
plays. They play a lot of
he's
it.
pretty good.
Especially when they have first pick, which they do right now. So it's time for Lava to decide if they're gonna ban that IO or not. I do feel like they're not gonna ban it, as Avo said.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just on the Brewmaster. It's a Frank hero too. Is that unusual to have two players who have Brewmaster as a specialist hero, or is it now a top tier offlaner for people?
I think it's starting to get pretty popular, honestly. Like, you don't see it every time because it's definitely a second phase hero. You're not gonna first phase the Brew most of the time, but it is definitely a good hero.
Big in NA, right?
Yeah, Europe as well.
NoPing picking up that Queen of Pain. Are we going to expect that to probably be a mid? Are they playing a lot of carry Queen of Pain here at all? Because I've seen that happen in Europe a fair amount.
Not NoPing. So they might just be... Monster might play it as offlane, but I think they're just going to make sure Analog has a hero he's comfortable with that is not Magnus. And they'll make sure everyone else has a good hero and can respond to whatever they see Lava picking.
Lava taking a little bit of time with their first pick, unusual. But they are going to pick up that Mars again. Would you want to see that mid again, Arvo? Do you think it was enough of a powerhouse mid?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Queen of Pain, your matchup is worse, obviously, than Magnus. I think a good Mars can still make up for that, because you just do how do you beat the Queen of Pain? You face tank her, essentially. And I think Mars can have the capability to do so. But this has been the opener for Lava for the past 8 months. So I'm glad that they're committing to it. There's also a strong lane if they want to run it. 4 Bane plus Mars 3. It's very, very strong. So that's okay too.
It's a classic lane. Is this
the lane itself is not hard for the Mars, but I think it's a big plus having the co-op, because it's much easier for Analog to leave the arena. We saw a lot of head bonking inside the arena in the last game. I don't think he's gonna struggle with that this time. Yeah, it's much harder, especially if the Kaya Sanj build you go on co-op nowadays. You're rarely gonna die unless you get Fiend's Gripped, which then it's unfortunate.
Are there any considerations that you're not going to want to pick up because of the Spain being picked?
Not really. Sometimes we actually see, Silencer being picked up, especially against Weaver and Bane. But and I think NoPing maybe played 1 game of Silencer. I'm not a big fan of the hero, honestly. I think it's a little bit overrated.
How so? What don't you like about it that you think everyone else does?
I mean, in my pub specifically, I've seen a lot of weirdos just picking Silencer 4 and it doesn't do anything. Oh, that's a new one. I'm not sure they play Treant. Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't seen them play Treant, though.
That used to be a King Jungles hero back when he was in SG. He was pretty good on it. He's actually King Jungles because he played the Enchanters that Treant they just brought. He played all the green heroes.
So do you think they'll play at 5 then?
I'm assuming it's 5. Yeah, I would be surprised if it was anything else. But it's interesting. This might be... I mean, this is what I would do as well if I was NoPing. I think RDO is more versatile these days, but he was known as a hyper carry back in the day. That's him and Costabile were the two carries of the Brazilian scene, and they would just take it to late game and win. And Trip Protector and Quap both are heroes that enable this, right? Strong lanes, good defensive capabilities, and now you pick a really hard carry with a good core-to-core matchup, and you're good to go.
If you're Lava, are you now going to ban out those hard carries? Is that what they're going to use this phase to do, or are there other issues you need to quash?
I think so. I think some of the ones that you are more concerned about against the Mars.
Yeah, I think you probably take PL out
Luna.
just because it's a natural Mars counter. They did it in the first game. Luna is also definitely a hyper carry sort of hero.
Luna, I agree with the PL. I think PA is also really strong against Mars, but I think the hero is a bit weaker.
And I'm assuming these Puck Lena bans are because they're heroes who do well against Quap.
Yes, also Leo style heroes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like he is not like he's a good spear player, right? But he's much better known for these older mid heroes, the classic mids, because he's 25. He's pretty much
He's ancient. He's decrepit.
Yeah.
He's falling apart.
So he's played the era where spirits were not the most popular heroes, and he played the Queen of Pain, the Pucks, the Lenas. So he's more of that style. I think that style suits him better because those heroes scale better for the most part, Storm aside. So than the spirits. So these heroes can carry the game for your team, and sometimes you need that as a for Lava. He kind of needs to scale so that Minos feels a bit more comfortable in the late game.
I really hope they bend the PL here. Bane's already a hero that the only AoE you ever get is Shard, and that's kind of a new thing. But if the PL gets big enough, the AoE Brains have it's not enough at all. And after the PL, I mean, you talked about PA. I thought about Morphling too, because it's a hero that doesn't care about the arena. I'm sure Ardio can play it, although they did not play in the DPC yet, I think.
I don't remember RDO Morphling particularly.
Running out that Kunkka. What sort of carry do you think Lava are looking for alongside the Mars then? Because they're banning out a number of them. Pick up that DK.
Oh, that was nice, but
is that a mid? DK?
Is that Leo's DK?
Probably
right?
DK, I think.
Oof. That is a way to face check your Queen of Pain, huh?
Yeah. Blink Dragon Tail into Spear. It's you're pretty much dead every time. It's so much lockdown.
Yeah. He's strong. He wins the lane. So what DK does actually, which I love, is that he completely dismantles the strategy NoPing seem to be going for. DK brings push, so Team Protector not so good at protecting the game. DK beats the Queen of Pain's lane, which means she's not a tempo setter as much. So now Lava, with this pick, set themselves as the guys who can control the game a bit more, and that makes it harder and scarier to pick these harder carries. That's why they actually got rid of tempo carries like Luna and Gyro. Yes, they'll carry the game, but also they're useful to fight 25-30 minutes in. Something that maybe a Dusto or a Terrorblade might not be able to do.
And they also have two very tanky cores on the DK and Mars, so this Quap is gonna struggle with damage. I think Tide might be a way to defend the towers, just as Sand King did in the first game. So you have this Tree and Tide Hunter, which slows down the push. But how you ever kill Mars and DK right now, I really don't see enough damage.
There's quite a lot of AoE control as well that can help protect the Queen of Pain. Alongside the Treant, they can ultimately, if people go on the Queen of Pain, that's a loss of counter initiation. So it's a good one.
Yeah, but I really feel like they need a Snapfire or like a Jakiro that can use the disable time that they have to do meaningful damage. Because sure, you save the Quap, but if you're not really killing anyone, you're just slowly losing all of your buildings.
Yep. Yeah.
I guess Snapfire is really the...
There you go. Perfect. Well done, Bowie.
Nice.
You must feel chuffed. Lava, what sort of response here are we looking for from Lava? They're still looking presumably for a carry and a second support. I assume they pick up the support here. What sort of stuff works for you, Lava?
I'm thinking, because I'm thinking as well, is there a carry that's so valuable that you want to pick it here before it gets banned? And I can't really see anything that's like, wow. And for a 4, considering it's Moose, seeing the snap, I actually wouldn't mind a Clockwork, to be honest. Not seeing the snap, even a 5 Clockwork. But it is Lava, so I'm assuming they're going to pick something weirder.
Dark Willow, do you like that?
Yeah, Willow's good. Willow with Mars is always good. I have no problem with that. Right? I actually wouldn't mind seeing the Rubik either again.
I think I'm going to pick up that Medusa, though.
Okay, so they did what I was telling you, right? They did see one carry that's more valuable than anything, and that they thought it was going to get banned.
Why do they think it's so
I don't
valuable?
think Deuce is that. She has a good lane. She does carry hard in the late game. She uses the tempo well. I actually think Tide can beat her in lane though, especially with a Snapfire. Gush plus Low Shredder. I don't think Deuce is that safe here. But
yeah, and that's very
Go ahead.
It's a very interesting decision because they do have overall last pick here. So even if they think Medusa is the best hero they can get, you're still gonna get counterpicked in a way with the hero NoPing can pick. So
Why ban
they're
out
gonna
the
last pick
Viper?
4. You mean as NoPing? Maybe they want to
Yeah.
go for a carry that I don't think they're gonna go Spectre because that's a dead hero, but maybe PA that they suggested. I also don't like PA here because every corner side of lava is super tanky. But maybe the Fan of Knives, you know, the having that break ability against DK and Mars is good enough.
But where would a
They'll be
Viper even
thinking,
play at this point?
5.
Position
Do
5,
people
yeah.
play 5 Viper?
In South America, you do.
Right, okay. Anything goes in South America.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a popular pick since Panda started picking it. I mean, other regions has done it as well. It's just that it stayed here. Like,
Kind
if
of
you were
died
still
out,
playing.
but I'm sure it would be really strong against the Tide here.
Yeah.
It's not like Snapfire trades really well versus Viper either.
Well, I don't know. I think this lane of Tide Snapfire is so much stronger than they're giving it credit for. Gush plus Low Shredder, man. I think you tear through the Viper. I think you tear through the Dusa, but
So they're presumably looking
I
for
guess
something that takes advantage of that at minus armor. So what sort of stuff might they want to pick up?
think of RTO heroes. You know, actually, I would like to see an Arc Warden. Actually, not a bad Arc Warden game here for NoPing. But that hero
Really,
is
I
garbage.
don't want to see an Arc Warden, man.
I know, I don't want to say a hero is garbage, but it's not bad. It has a good matchup against Dusa. Mars is surprisingly not that good against him.
Terrorblade.
We're going for something more normal.
Plenty of right
Okay.
click. How do you feel about this one, Bowie?
I mean, it's a good matchup versus Dusa. Like, it's okay versus Dusa. I do feel like there's a lot of burst damage on Lavado, and once you have the power spike of the Blink Daggers on Mars and DK, if they can pick a hero that can follow up damage, because right now it feels like they lack a little bit of it. The Terrorblade could die. Like, it's really easy to kill this DK, the Terrorblade 24/7. They're gonna get the Inkswell and the Silence. That's good enough, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, it is very comfortable for RDO, but I do feel like NoPing, they have to play their lanes much better than they did in game 1, because if they get out 50-50 or 40-60, this Terrorblade is going to be dying, or the Co-op is going to be dying all the time, because it's really Blink, Dragon Tail, there's no saves on the side of NoPing. They have Living Armor, but there's only armor, right?
Yeah.
They can do a
So,
quick cookie jump.
I don't think it's a bad draft from NoPing, but after the first game, I still feel like Lava has a higher chance of winning here. I'm gonna go like 65-35 for Lava.
Do you agree, Alva?
Always percentages. Bowie's percentages. As a host, to drive you up the wall, how does he decide these things, huh? What's the 35 for, Bowie?
The
Excel
35 is for
spreadsheet.
RDO Terrorblade.
I agree with you. I think RDO might be able to carry this game. My faith actually lies in NoPing, not because I think their draft is better. I think the draft is just okay. But the core-to-core matchup is good. I think this draft enables NoPing. And if there's one man that can carry this team, is him. In my opinion, this is probably one of the better drafts we've seen from NoPing. Most of the time, their drafts are just okay, and they kind of carry off someone's back. And this is exactly what I'm expecting from RDO this game.
Okay, well, can RDO carry NoPing to a Game 3 here in this crucial relegation series? We're going to find out with Gary and Lacoste, who are going to carry our broadcast forwards.
Thank you very much. Now, different heroes completely in this game too, but kind of similar drafts and game plans, it seems. Like NoPing, a lot of team fight, centered around that Terrorblade as the main carry, while Lava, timing hit with Medusa, right? 15, 20 minutes, that's when it's go time.
They got heroes that can fight, but I also, like, just by looking at NoPing's draft, it says a lot of team fight, a lot of way to reset, a lot of damage. They are high, I would say they're very cooldown dependent, because every hero has high cooldown ability, but if you cycle them, you can make it work. I think that's perfectly fine. I want to see how the laning stage is gonna go. Snapfire plus Tide. Snapfire plus anything is pretty much my favorite combo on the offlane. Snapfire plus Mars, Snapfire plus Tide, also like Beaver Tide. A lot of minus armor coming out from these two, so you should be very careful about it. The Holy Core starting with Boots of Speed. Like, you're playing against Bane and Medusa, I think you need to go stats. It's not like you're playing against something that you need to outrun unless you want to manipulate the creep wave a bit. Because if he goes for the second creep wave, tries to drag it, then that's fine to buy Boots of Speed. If he's not, then I think the Boots of Speed is wasted. We'll see if he decides to do it, because Bane's one of the better heroes that can stop it, especially if you decide to get Nightmare level 1, which is something that you don't want to do, but if he wants to go for that kind of a play, especially since you see his items, he might go for it.
Yeah, you absolutely have the option. I mean, yeah, like you say, Boots of Speed could be like a Blightstone, could be stats, more regen, that allows you to trade more effectively against the Bane and the Medusa. And on that Medusa, felt like a very good pick there, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Cooldown reliance for NoPing. Yes, they can cycle through some of their ultis, but if they want to kill the Medusa, they're going to have to spend a lot of them, like Ravage, Kisses, Sonic Wave, to try and bring down Kataro, especially once we get to 20, 30 minutes into the game. I did like that pick at the end, and that meant that the last pick was the position 4. We had plenty of options, like Grimstroke seemed like a perfect slot in, but it could have easily been, Tusk and Earth Spirit, something that allows them to be a bit more active. But in this case,
I would maybe
outskirts of
prefer
the fight.
If that was Disruptor instead of Grimstroke.
Ooh.
I can understand why, because they needed something that is good against Tidehunter. But I feel like having an extra hero that can play, I would say, with Mars, that you can set things up with Arena of Blood. The Glimpse is always going to be valuable. Static Storm on top of TB, pre-BKB. Because what my point is, you want to have something so that you can lock down onto Tide and straight up kill him before he can get the Ravage off. Because Tide becomes so quick, so tanky so quickly that sometimes you're not able to do that because you don't have Doom, you don't have like Chronosphere, Black Hole. I like Disruptor as a response to Tide. Grimstroke can also do it with Phantom's Embrace, but it's not as good as Disruptor in my opinion.
Yeah, a bit more finicky. And you can't just grip the Tide. He's going to get himself away from that with reasonable ease. As we see 3 Radiant heroes top currently. KJ has stuck around to try and trade with Katyu's Bane as well as blocking up his camp. That's some good damage coming from KJ there. So it leaves Medusa in a 1v2. Wave pushed under her
she's
tower.
fine. Farming underneath the tower. Has 2 CS, which is okay considering they're having a tri-lane. The matchup that I'm looking at the most is this mid matchup. Because before Dragonite did... Oh, he started with Dragon Tail. Very interesting. That's why he's almost dead. I favor this, I would say 60-40 for Queen of Pain, maybe even higher. Queen of Pain just does not have a bad matchup. I feel like she does not have a... Maybe Lina could potentially be it, but Leo style. Like, he needs to be careful. Has one... Oh, let's see. Creeps.
Oh, the Fairy Fires. Oh, who's getting a bit spicy in mid lane? I mean, top lane, Theolacore's dying. Katyu takes down the Snapfire. As we were getting all excited about the mid lane matchup, it's actually a return to normality for Lava in top lane.
Seeing where lane is, because I was looking at the mid lane, what happened is Snapfire trying to drag the creep wave, and then Bait did a good job pulling the creep wave back to the big camp, which means that a lot of the creeps also got denied, so they're not getting anything out of it. And they have no regen. Like, Tidehunter, he started with no regen whatsoever, and Snapfire started with Boots of Speed, so that means that they can go ham. Like, they can start harassing your Cookie.
That's a good Cookie gush. Katyu, he's popped all the regen he's got. The brain sap back onto Monster. Kataro's trying to trade with a Tide. That'll never work out for your Medusa, though. So at least a little bit of retribution there, but the point still stands that you make, right? They've got no regen. They have to wait for this Ring of Health on the Tide, and Snapfire's going to have to drag some out from the base.
A good thing is that Monster got the last hit, so that's going to bring him closer to that ring. Needs to 2 CS. We'll get 1 with Anchor Smash, but they're very low. I want to see Snapfire bring some extra regen. All right, he's bringing a Tango and a Healing Salve, because right now that means Kataro will get the free farm. Snaky, not gonna bounce. Ooh, that was close. 10 HP on Tide.
Super close. Yeah, and a double wave, right? So Radiant lane's going to push towards Dire Tower, which means that Lava can kind of settle themselves and look for pulls later on if they get that small camp dewarded. As Katyu holds onto a couple of sentries. Things calm down a little bit. Top, mid lane, you were saying about 60-40 for the Queen of Pain, and it looks like it's going that way exactly. 16-9 against 13-3. But Dragon Blood starts to kick in now for Leostar's DK, so he's got a bit more staying power.
Yeah,
he's going to continue farming away, though.
I was talking more about, first, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Because Dragon Knight, if he goes for 1-1-1 build, 1-1-2, 1-1-3, puts maxing out the Dragon Blood, then the Queen of Pain doesn't do that much. And he also decided to put a point in Blink, which is sometimes what you don't want to do. You want to have a bit more harassment, so you play. I've seen Queen of Pains in EU West, which has been probably the most popular hero. Is sometimes if the matchup is good, you skip the Blink completely.
Kim close to death, but they actually turn back on the TB very nicely with Frank's Mars. Metamorphosis not being put to its full use, as Lava able to battle back against this Treant TB lane. Chasing KJ even, and going pretty deep for this. Kim and Frank, they want this kill badly, but they might lose a couple in the exchange. RDO, he's chasing down the Grimstroke, and he will find that 1-for-1. Do they have someone to TP to Outpost? Frank's on the run, 8 stick charges. Should give him enough to spear back RDO if he desperately needs to. Reflection, turn back, spear, and then he should be fine.
TB overextended a bit. I think he, after getting a kill, should just go back to lane because there's a big wave approaching him. Clarity used by KJ on him. But also, they managed to get the healing salve off the Grimstroke. He tried to keep himself alive and juke within the trees. Didn't happen, so an extra 100 gold wasted on that. Efficiency,
nice
Gary.
scan.
That's the word. I don't know if you heard about it. It's called being good at Dota.
That is a very good word indeed. Snapfire, trying to be efficient, was looping around that mid lane, gets a ward down, but Leo Style or somebody on the Dire team scanned her out. So DK won't be dropping just yet, as Bane also mirrors the movements. Gets a bit of vision down himself. Interesting Radiant Ward in the Radiant Triangle, though. What's that about?
Let me think. I can't think of anything. Even if it's something that I can sound smart, I still don't have it. Let me try to think about it.
Like, to see if Bane is stealing our bounty runes? Curious Observer Ward. Maybe they've got a plan.
I actually have no idea, Gary. I don't think I've
Me
seen
neither.
this ever. And I've seen a lot of Dota lately. I've been following all regions when I'm trying not to sleep.
Sleep is difficult. Maybe it was meant to be a sentry and he accidentally placed an obs ward, but
Possibly.
anyway. Monster doing a great job keeping Medusa away from the wave and actually herding Kataro in towards the Snapfire. Attempting a kill under tower on a Medusa, still a difficult task though, even with a gush. Mango there with a one charges on
double
Medusa,
Mango.
turning back onto Theo, taking the kill. Still gonna die though. Overall feels worthwhile for NoPing to get that kill. Well, down
Speaking of
bottom, the spear back.
efficiency,
They want RDO. He kills a courier. He doesn't care.
Grimstroke kills the courier, doesn't care. Number 2.
Massacre of the couriers in that bot lane.
So, yeah, what Bane tried to do is pop a couple of mangoes. That's 2 mangoes. So that's 130 gold spent on Medusa, and she dies in the end anyway. So if we talk about how much gold they spent just on consumables that didn't do anything, they had a healing salve on the bottom. So small things like that tend to add up.
Inefficiency.
Inefficiency.
You talked about, you talked about efficiency earlier on. Now we're talking about inefficiency.
Very
Leo
nice.
Style with the dragon form.
DB
Yet again, being very efficient. Gets some
rotating
hits
to
on
the
the tower.
top lane. 3 points in
so
meta.
he is.
Ton of damage. They have Ravage to protect them. This should be a free tower, and I don't think they can kill tower on the bottom, considering it's Treant. He has a point in living armor, 1 point in Nature's Grasp, but their tower damage is very limited. They needed to bring Dragon Knight, who did not have Elder Form, so that means that this is a very good trade for NoPing.
It does mean Medusa gets to take down some of these stacks in the jungle while that tower's falling, though. So Kataro accelerating even faster, while the Radiant stack up their triangle themselves. potentially for that Terrorblade to come in and clear up when Meta's back up again.
Monitor.
First, well, it wasn't turned on for the entire game.
Yeah, he just played
Lacoste been playing blind.
blindly. How long did it take you to die if you played without monitor?
Oh, see that's a good question. I could imagine myself
Without
just
being
clicking
AFK,
into
but
my.
you need to like click. You know your radiance, so you try to click to the right, but not too much.
You just keep clicking top right, middle. I don't know. I could see myself running around in the fountain doing nothing and abandoning because I'm AFK. I think it's either one of the extremes. Either you just don't die because you have no idea where you are and you stay in your base, or you die within 30 seconds because you've walked into
Die
the
to
enemy
neutral
base.
camp. Like you accidentally hit them, and then you just straight up die.
Doesn't sound like a fun way to play the game.
What about controller? Have you tried it?
I haven't yet. It's something on my to-do list. Have you tried it yet?
No, not yet. I don't have a
Like, I know
controller
a
here
few-
in Sweden.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I know a few years ago, well, it must be 4 or 5 years ago now, Shane played Wraith King with a controller, and he said it wasn't that bad.
It was the old Raid King. He did not have any abilities. It was just stun.
No
That
buttons.
was it.
Yeah, all he had to do was not level stun, and then he just AFK attack move into creep camps. It's doable. What's
Everything
happening?
is
We've come out of the
doable if you
pause.
don't have any kind of expectations what the game should be played at. I don't think like I would be very satisfied with how things go, considering I was relatively good at Dota. You know, oh, I killed 2 creeps with controller in a 60-minute game.
Viable.
Yeah, that's not
Controller
good.
meta is viable. Oh, they're trying to move bottom. KJ is just such a nuisance. Treant hiding in the trees. That's the difficulty you were saying. They can't really push this tower. He's just throwing living armor on it, shoving out the wave with Nature's Grasp. They bring the Dragonite down here, so 3 heroes strong. Lava trying to at least pressure KJ out of the lane, but there's just so much space for NoPing now. TB gets a clear top, jungle, and triangle. Mid lane farmed out by Analog. And if Lava don't get a tower or kill down here, it's time wasted. Man, Glyph plus armor plus grasp again. They arena the trees. Oh, they found KJ. Missed the spear, though. KJ, he's got level 2 Leech Seed. He's not going to survive, though, through the stuns they've got. Leo and Frank make short work of the Treant.
That's
Well,
perfectly
Monster.
fine. Him just being there, soaking up some experience, delaying as much as he can, while the rest of the team is putting the pressure on the mid lane. They're actually going to get this tower.
Yeah, no great way for Lava to stop it. Medusa has wandered into the vicinity.
Oh no!
She wants to continue farming.
What is Monster doing? What is that in his quick buy, Gary? Whew.
That's an Echo Saber.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Why?
But why?
But why? Like, well, do you not want to win the game?
Does
I'm
he think
down.
there's just no?
I mean, I'm down to see different item builds, but I don't think this is good. Like, the point of getting an Echo Saber is that you can disassemble it. On Tidehunter, doesn't do anything, so I don't know. Also, you're not there to right-click. You already have, like, AoE Anchor Smash that is 4-second cooldown. Maybe it's just a casual...
Lacoste.
I hope it's just a casual Sage Smash.
No, I have the answer for you. Remember when you were saying that Disruptor would have been a good pick and Grimstroke kind of fills the role of dealing with Tide? If he's silenced, he can just
Double
hit
hit.
people with Echo Saber.
Ah, you're
He
onto
doesn't need to
something,
cast
Gary.
spells.
You are actually onto something. I'm not even
He
kidding.
knows
No,
the
I'm not even kidding. This might be good. If he's trying to counter Grimstroke, Gary, you should coach. Like, you should coach a professional
Yeah.
Dota 2 team.
Well, I don't come up with the crazy ideas. I just rationalize them and try and figure out why. Frank attempted to kill KJ, spent Arena, and TP's home. As NP bring another couple of heroes down bottom. Medusa still racking up that
You know
net worth,
how
though.
you can do it without having to spend so much gold on an item, it's 2.5k gold item, your Snapfire gets a point in Lil Shredder and immediately kills it. That's one way to do it.
Oh, that is a good way. Yeah, with a lot less spent. Interesting, not a single point in the Shredder there from Theo, so maxing out Scatter Blast, going nuke damage. Terrorblade. That's just a Grimstroke, shouldn't be so afraid.
Dire's courier has
The rest of the
doesn't
Dire
know.
team are all down bottom.
Doesn't have much mana, still has a point if he needs to use it and get the Sunder, just in case he gets ganked.
And he's caught up with that Medusa pretty nicely now. Looking towards Manta style for Kataro.
Okay, Tide
ultimate all
is
the way.
changing his mind. It's just a casual Sage Mask for now. Makes more sense.
Sad. I was so
Yeah.
excited. Oh, he's going Halberd. Okay.
Boring.
Yeah.
I think Halberd is a much better choice. Cat, you getting found?
Yeah, gets the Nightmare off on Snapfire. Who's behind him? It's Leo Star's Dragon Knight, who's still trying to get his Blink Dagger up. So Katnu is left all alone. Frank with Armlet trying to run away from that bottom lane. Observer Ward from KJ sees him, and they have a stun,
KJ?
and he TP cancel.
Okay.
Oh, he's waiting till the very last second. DD rune up on that Queen of Pain. Analog is being burst down pretty quickly, but they've got a cookie and another stun. To
For a
find
second,
Frank
I
Feeder.
thought he was looking at something else, and maybe, you know, I need to heal this tier 1 tower on the top lane. But yeah, because he was not moving. Like, his hero was not moving at all.
I was concerned.
I
I
was-
was definitely concerned.
My anxiety kicked in, Gary.
Yep. Heart rate elevated, blood pressure rising. Oh god, please cast a spell. Alright, so it's been a good couple of minutes here from NoPing. Terrorblade farming, Queen of Pain looking very good. As Analog had a domineering laning phase, and now transferring that into that Kaya Sanj that the panel were talking about.
It's just too good.
It's been
of an
interesting to watch this Queen of Pain go from the old school days of win lane, lose game, buy Orchid, try and rush it. If you don't get it fast enough, you lose the game. Now Kaya Sanj gives you such a nice safety net of this item will last you through the whole game.
Yes.
And give you so much.
This item is too good on Queen of Pain. I'm actually glad it's not you and me, but some professional player discovered it, and we as a community embraced it. Because you become so tanky so quickly. Like, you get...
They've got a blink reveal. Leo Stars got the stuns onto TB. The grip comes as well. They need to finish off RDO, though, before he can get a reversal with a Sunder. He is dead. The Ravage and the Kisses weren't enough to stop RDO from dying. Getting that support kill is something, but not what NoPing needed.
Yeah, and we can see a bit of a flaw from Lava's lineup, where their damage is very limited right now. Like, they don't have any kind of burst. Grimstroke doesn't provide you with any kind of, like, burst damage. Neither does Dragonite at this point. He's going back for Hand of Midas, what it seems.
Interesting. Well, now, Kim and Leo Stahl running away again.
What's
As
the
are the two
real...
supports on NoPing.
What's the real word behind interesting when you say it? Like, this Hand of Midas, describe it to me without using the word interesting.
Curious. Yeah, you want another one, do you?
I'm really
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, you're
It's just a
really
bit weird.
curious if he's gonna, manage to get it and if it's gonna pay off. I don't think he needs it. I don't think he needs Hand of Midas in this game. If you want to scale, you can get something like Maelstrom into BKB because you want to have an ability
Aghanims.
to farm. Not as a second item. Definitely not as a second item. Because I was thinking about Maelstrom because you still have a bit of a magical damage that goes well against TB, have Wave Clear
right.
against the illusions. So I wouldn't mind seeing that, but also straight up BKB seems fine considering the amount of control that they got.
Yeah, it feels like nowadays Hand of Midas is more, I guess it has been for a few years now, but if you think about Midas 5-6 years ago, it was about money, about gold. Now it feels like heroes buy it when they need levels desperately. I think Invoker comes to mind as the primary one where you're like, okay, I'm Quaswex, I've got Urn, I need Midas to transition into Exort. What are the levels Leo Star needs here? Does he feel that he's behind, or does he need more levels in Dragon form?
Maybe he just feels that he is playing from behind, which he is. So maybe he's having a good read on the game. I still don't think like getting Hand of Midas is like, if we're talking about 50-minute type of a game, then this Hand of Midas will pay off. But getting levels on Dragonite, his talents are insanely well, and his strength gain is great. So that means you're becoming tanky, you get more damage. Like his level 20 talent, extra 20 strength, and also like 25 are insanely good. AoE Dragon Tail, like it's just
That's nasty.
It's nasty. But also the second one, the HP, regen, and armor is also extremely powerful. We still haven't seen more than one Ravage being used, but it also goes down to Lava trying to dodge fights around the Tidehunter, because they did not feel they could go in. Treant.
No, they don't feel secure at all. They're just taking down this tier 1 with relative ease. Gonna get forced back, and the living armor comes up, so they don't commit for it. I thought Lava there for sure would finish it off, but the halberd on Monster's Tidehunter stopped the DK from hitting. And it feels like Tide doesn't really have a care in the world. He walked from top lane through jungle in towards mid, clears out waves, defends the tower.
Tidehunter does
Lava
not
have
die.
to bring everyone.
I don't think they have tools to kill Tidehunter in the next 10 minutes, I would say. He should be okay unless he's like isolated and they have 4 heroes on top of him. Because with magic
waiting
resistance,
for the Medusa going to be enough?
Evasion, what?
Is waiting for the Medusa going to be enough for Lava? So I guess that's what the game plan is, right?
I don't think they can match teamfight from NoPing at the moment. So getting a pick off into possibly like a tower, tier 1 tower on a mid lane is very low. There's still Treant Protector who can heal him up. But yeah, I don't think they should be team fighting NoPing straight up 5 versus 5.
Try and split the map, get farm where you can, dodge the tide. All that's going on though. Analog has got his Kaya Sanj working on BKB. Terrorblade, what's he up to? So he skips out on Manta, Dragonlance Yasha, then into Skadi it looks like. That should help him match up against the Medusa much better. The vision so far from NoPing has been leaps and bounds ahead of game 1. You think about the board Lava had, the TA traps. Lava had vision everywhere.
KJ?
Oh, KJ. Yeah, he's found in the trees. Easily killed off by Frank and Leo. Whereas in this game, Radiant side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sentries out, 3 Observer Lords out. They see a hell of a lot.
A lot of sentries, just 4 sentries on the top part of the map in a small area near like a small camp and a big camp. Tidehunter comes, that means fight is pretty much over.
Tidehunter comes, everyone runs.
Yeah,
blink away.
That is going for a Blink Dagger. I am a big fan of Aghanim Scepter on Tide. I don't know if you've seen how powerful it is. You still need a bit of a mana sustain, some kind of a tier 2 item, because right now he's just getting chipped west. Arena.
They jump on mid. The Arena Spear. They're killing off Analog. Leo Star with the initiation started off with a Dragon Tail and well, a DD Terrorblade. He's been silenced up. He has to clear that Phantom's Embrace. 1/3 of his HP remaining, but Nightmare gets transferred off him. The speed at which they can jump on someone and kill them is pretty powerful.
NoPing used the Tidehunter's TP, so he was bottom, and Lava says, well, without Tide, we can't take this fight, and this is exactly how they should play. Dragonite, in the end, decided to go for that Hand of Midas, I believe, because I still don't see an item on him. Where's the courier? There's the Hand of Midas. Very hype.
21-minute Hand of Midas.
I'm more hyped about the Grimstroke in this game. I think it's a correct choice to get up straight Aghanim Scepter, especially since you've been blessed by Big Boy Philly. Philosopher's Stone. So that means you will be able to farm it and get Etherlands after. I think his item build should be Aghanims into like Cleanse. in to try to protect
That'd be
yourself
nice.
with the Eon disc, but look at them. They understand. Well, Lava can't fight us if the group has 5, because they're too afraid of Tidehunter. They can't bring him down. We will go inside the Roche pit and take it. But also Lava taking out the tier 2 tower early on, 21 minutes in, especially against Treant Protector. Sounds really good. So,
Yeah, and they get a
relatively
tier 1
good
more too.
trade. Like, if you talk about like what this opens up for Lava, I'd still say it's a bit of a win for them, even though they don't have the Aegis at the moment.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
See,
attack.
it doesn't feel like NoPing are ready just to go high ground yet, right?
Definitely
With this
not.
Aegis, they're not going to break your base. They're getting that map space much more important for Lava. But yeah, with your Ags on Tide, I would like that as well. Just going back to what you were saying earlier on. Having that against the Medusa in particular, like long-range chip damage just to keep pushing
Tower is under attack.
a little bit here and there onto her. Always handy. Big
Frank?
smoke from NoPing though. Straight into Frank with a Blink Ravage. Monster, desperate for action, catches out Frank's Mars. He armor toggles as best
Dios.
he can. Analog kills off Canyon.
Oh.
Frank, he finally dies.
I thought he was going to be able to toggle for a second. Bottom lane, chip damage on towers doesn't do anything considering you're playing against the Treant Protector. Dragonite level 15 with that Hand of Midas. Queen of Pain, same level. She bought the shard for herself. I think sometimes buying shard before BKB could be a bit tricky, but this build has been insanely good. I think Queen of Pain's my favorite hero right now, what she does, especially with this build. AoE silence with the blink, being able to push out waves faster. She has 11 strength talent. Kaya-san just gives her that tankiness, a bit of a status resistance on top of that. Just a perfect item for Queen of Pain in my opinion.
Yeah, especially not needing to go Orchid and being able to still jump onto the backlines, like blinking onto a Grimstroke, making sure he can't immediately get off his own silence. Potentially blowing up support, something Queen of Pain thrives on.
Dire's
They
bottom
jump onto the Tide here, knowing he doesn't have Ravage. So a pick onto Monster opens up for Lava. They need the arena though, as the Soulbind
Still has Hood.
is caught inside. This Tide is incredibly tanky. He's going to fall eventually though. Kisses launched out from long range, but cancelled immediately by Theo. They don't want to stick around. A 2-for-1 trade is fine here for NoPing as long as they can get out. Because bottom tier 1 tower is cleared up by TB Illusions.
fallen.
They found another one.
Still going to catch. Theo, of course, Snapfire didn't escape fast enough, but RDO, he wants to fight into Frank and Leo. Good damage from the Illusions. That Scardy Slow, problematic for Lava, but they've got the numbers. They've surrounded this TB, and they've got stuns on him. Can he sunder in time? He's got Wand, he can't turn. Aegis is popped.
He's alone. Queen
And
of
now
Pain's
he's
coming.
all
No
alone.
Sonic Wave.
10 seconds for Sonic Wave. Can they kill this TB before the rest of the team respawns and arrives? RDO being chipped away at. Oh, the Stone Gaze. Can they actually stun him up? Because Frank has died to Analog as the Queen of Pain gets a pick off, but dropping quickly, and in comes the DK, but no! They don't get... The TB sunders back as Analog dies, and RDO is on the run once more. Lava, they stick around, all thanks to this Medusa just standing there, wailing away with these Scardy hits.
Yeah, Medusa also uncontested. TV pops the meta and just stands his ground, but the amount of lockdown that Lava has is a bit too much, I would say. In the end, if Queen of Pain doesn't blink and silences Mars there, he would get the spear off and they would be able to kill off the TB. So still, I would say a good trade, considering you saved your TB, but not the best trade for NoPing, considering what they lost. Tidehunter, we saw that he can die. Like, we talked about him not being able to die unless he's isolated, and that's exactly what happened.
Dire's bottom tower.
Yeah, he was basically 1v5, right? Like 1v5 here, Treant comes along, he's like, I'm gonna help. But you're all stuck inside that arena. I really didn't think that Queen of Pain was gonna die. She was like mid-animation of jumping away with Blink in that bottom lane extended team fight.
And look at the
But
silence
they're
from Queen
catching
of
the
Pain.
TB.
If they get a
Catches
spear
the
off,
Mars.
RDO dies, no doubt about it.
Oh, she was just trying to blink away, and then that final touch from Medusa,
Is under attack.
giving the net worth lead now to Lava. 11 to 11, dead even on kills. Feels like that inevitable Medusa story is always going to come. Turn the page, and you're facing a different monster. With every passing minute, she's got a new item.
It's becoming harder for Tidehunter, considering Medusa just finished There's Silver Edge.
Radiant's middle
So
tower
the break
is under
mechanic, KJ getting caught.
Getting killed. And they're moving high ground here. Medusa's coming from the back. Good burst damage on Cat U, and a Sonic Wave pushes Medusa away. Analog
Does
has a blink in a
nothing.
second, and they disarm the Medusa. They should be able to kill off Theo here, and they actually chuck the arena onto Monster, who's holding Ravage. He can't.
Silver
he can't
Edge in a
Ravage it, he's got no
second.
teammates.
under attack.
Yeah, they'll be able to take out that Kraken Shell and easily pick off the Tide after that.
That
And the
was
game has swung so quickly.
Queen of Pain ulti on full HP, full mana Medusa does absolutely nothing. It tickles her. They need to play around TB. TB getting... I feel like they've been a bit disconnected in the decision making, like what needs to be done. They need to sync up, because Terrorblade definitely said, I need a BKB, because I can't deal damage if there's arena if I get stunned by a Dragon Knight. So I want to have that for the next fight, and they still decided to take one fight.
Yeah, it's what we talked about after the end of Game 1 as well, coming into Game 2. Not just the draft and the game plan, but that disconnect, not being synchronized as NoPing as a whole, definitely felt like one of their biggest problems. It's probably even more apparent because Lava are so connected around these drafts with, you know, Medusa, pretty
DD
straightforward.
Medusa.
You let her get farm, let her get a DD, then follow her to the ends of the earth.
Tower is under attack.
And what are these neutral items coming up? I see TB picked up an Elven Tunic. Cloak of Flames on the Tide. DK with Blast Rig now, so even tankier. And a Ceremonial Robe untouched by the Dire team.
Radiant's middle tower is
Theo
under
and KJ
attack.
hold the high ground, but in jumps Leo style, that Dire Observer just caught a glimpse of the Snapfire, and the two supports going to be undone. As it looks like KJ actually slips away out of the grasp of the Mars Arena.
Radiant's
DD
middle tower is
still
under
up and
attack.
running for another 10 seconds.
Structures are fortified.
They should try to force it. At least try to force a buyback from Snapfire, who does not have it, so you're not actually forcing anything. But 30 seconds should be able to take out the tower. Snapfire invested all of her gold into Aghanim Scepter, so that's going to be another saving tool if they decide to go on anyone. But you also need to be careful, because you need to spit him out. I don't know if they want to fully commit. I think just try to get the range barracks and see what happens. You're most likely going to need to go back. Snapfire
Dire's
is
courier has been
about
killed.
to respawn, so they're respecting that. Also, no Dragonite ulti left.
Oh, yeah, and sticking high ground against this Ravage Kiss is pretty scary. So melee rack still stands. NoPing need to clear out these waves before they can think about smoking up.
Aghanim Scepter was done on Grimstroke some time ago, so now you have like this gigantic TB that is spell immune. Like TB will need to focus that illusion, otherwise I think they just lose the fight. So whenever he sees that illusion, he needs to immediately pop it.
He's got to handle it somehow. Maybe now, if Monster can get the right initiation. He blinks forward, and the Ravage onto DK. This is looking a little messy from NoPing, though, as they gobble and spit Ardio in towards them, but now in the arena, he has to BKB up. Ardio runs to the high ground again, and Monster, he's tanking these spells for them, but Kataro, he's out of the disarm now, so the Medusa's damage starts coming. They blow through Cat U, so
There's
at least the
big
Bane
TB,
is gone.
Lou.
Frank with a bulwark, big TB, yeah, look at he's shiny, he's red, and he's shredding through this Radiant team. The TB illusion is solo carrying Lava through this fight as Leo Star is going to track back onto Ardio, stuns galore onto the Terrorblade, no chance to help himself or help his team, and another big kill for Lava. Who can they get now? Theo, oh, Theo TP's home, barely surviving with a couple more heroes.
Ravage does not connect on multiple targets. Queen of Pain, once again, this is the second time that ulti just hits one hero. So Analog right now trying to cut the wave, try to delay as much as possible. They do have a creep
Are under attack.
coming in, so there's not gonna be backdoor protected barracks, and they can go in from the bottom as well, keep this creep
can.
alive. It's a super range creep that
Radiant's middle tower.
They're trying to gobble up and spit stuff at it. Kill the creep, please. Ranged creep down. Tier 3 tower will fall, even through the living armor.
Radiant's bottom
Backdoor regen should be kicking in soon, but they've got a bottom wave pushing in, and it looks like plenty of damage, even into that backdoor regen. And knowing that there's no Ravage for a whole minute, a large part of NoPing's team fight is not available just yet.
Kotaro, Lincoln Sphere, they don't have many ways of rocking it, and I guess the sole reason is this Heaven's Halberd and also Sunder.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Because once Tide gets Aghanim Scepter, that means you can't proc it with the Gush. Queen of Pain can do it with Shadow Strike, but that's it.
Yeah, it's a rough one, isn't it? Oh, they're going on Monster.
Break.
He doesn't have Ravage. They kill him here. Team fight ulti down. It was coming back up in 15 seconds, but he's probably going to have to buy back if Lava want to move back to high ground. But with tier 2 standing top lane... Oh, hang on. I'm going to have to take that back, aren't I? They're going tier 4s. I thought they'd back up and maybe try and push out top, but they're just chipping away at these final buildings in the base. Now they retreat.
No need to
Roshan
rush
respawning.
anything. Exactly. Roche will respawn in 5 seconds. Without Tidehunter, 30 seconds. If he decides to buy back, like, you can always just go back, try to reset. They have tools to reset the fight with, especially with Medusa. And now Medusa hits level 25. Her level 25 talent is insane. Split Shot uses modifiers. I think once you hit level 25 on Medusa, your win percentage goes up by like 20%. I'm not even kidding. Having his
pretty
AoE
freaking strong.
body is just too good.
Yeah.
Let's see who
Speaking of
decides
levels, right?
to pick
Leo
up
Star's...
the shard. I don't know if you want to give it to Medusa. It would be like a safe choice, but who picked it up? They give it to Grimstroke. I like that a lot more because having a Dispel on a hero like Medusa and this Grimstroke, he's gonna have Refresher. We've been in Refresher meta for quite a while, but this is a position 4 Grimstroke that has Aghanim's Lens and full Refresher 34 minutes in.
That's bonkers. He's incredibly farmed. 14,000 net worth on Kim.
Is under attack.
Ahead of the Tide even. Barely, but oh, hang on. Monster.
It's nothing.
Okay. He hits nothing, and now Analog has to BKB. Frank shows off his own shiny golden item. They kill Cat Yu. I mean, Bane is the only kill they can get in these team fights, it looks like. Monster's in trouble still. Frank, Leo, and Kotaro surround the Tidehunter, and he is not so big and scary anymore. Well, that was something. I'm not sure if we could call it Dota 2, but it was something.
Definitely not a top-tier performance. I think NoPing is just mentally done.
It looks, I mean, Ardio's going to give it another try, though. I mean, the Terrorblade is still a beast. Frank with a Bulwark trying to guard Leo style, and a good route there. In comes the Overgrowth Sonic Wave from Analog, helping to kill off Frank, and the TP's home. Leo style, no stuns, so he makes it home successfully while Medusa's been left alone. They've got a bit of reveal there with the sentry down. Kotaro turning. Is he going to be able to do anything here in a 1v4? Aegis still in hand, but Medusa's first life is going to go down. Who's pink? Grimstroke's coming. Come on, Grimmy boy. Come on. Let's get a TB illusion, shall we? I think Medusa might just be too far up. Stone Gaze is good. TP is good. Escape. Perfect.
They have nothing to stop the TP with. Snapfire was not close. Try to use the Gobble Up. It did not connect.
They're trying to kill the Grim now. They've got a Soul Bind. Kim turns back, and they're going to kill off KJ before the Grim goes down. Yep. And Analog with his BKB ending has to be wary now. There's no grip, and the burst through on that Bane is beautifully done. Leo Star's now put himself in harm's way. TB's arrived with a reflection, slowing down the DK. Leo Star's going to die under his own tier 2 tower.
Gary, what is going on with this game?
Medusa's arrived. Why is Medusa here now? Kotaro wants to come into the tail end of this fight. Goes invis and scutters away, slithering out of the range NoPing. But the last 3 minutes has been a whiffed ravage, a weird fight, confusing TPs.
They have Aegis, they have Shard and Grimstroke. Tidehunter completely whiffs the Ravage, and somehow Lava manages to lose a team fight with 17k gold net worth lead. I'm like trying to find a way how's that possible. TB is massive, like they even kill Monster here. He doesn't do anything considering you just used the Ravage. A bit disconnected, like Kim was not there with the team. If he pops the illusion, if he pops 2 illusions of a Terrorblade, I think the fight just ends there.
Yeah, he was trying to get to that fight while the Medusa was losing Aegis. It all got a bit messy. And now we're looking at no Roshan for 5 minutes, no Aegis anymore for Medusa. Lava probably want to just chill out for a little bit, knowing that Ravage, Kisses, Sonic Wave are all back up again for NoPing. That's a sign of life from the Brazilians, at least, as they've had a very rough game too.
Queen of Pain, if she can farm her Lincolns, and she's close, is there a recipe? Yeah, there is. So then she can play a bit more aggressive. She's going to be very hard to lock down. And if she can get to level 25, have that extra Lincolns from the level 25 talent, that's going to be great. So you have Lincolns with 12-second cooldown and Lincolns with 18 seconds cooldown.
Oh, super nice. I'm just thinking this monster Ravage is so... Oh, Theo gobbles up the Queen of Pain, chucks her at the Mars, but Frank, he's got other plans. He's on the Snapfire with an Arena Spear, and Medusa's coming here. Kataro ravaged up. Analog jumps forward aggressively as well. They're trying to hunt the back lines, looking for the squishier targets, and they blow through Canyon, but Argon's down. TB Illusions, too much to handle. Now, Monster's been slowed by the Skirdy, and that's 3 heroes gone from the side of NoPing. Double Observer Wards are placed as well in the midst and the heat of battle. But I think that might just be the signal of the end as Lava cruising towards the Radiant base now.
I mean, this is what should have happened in the previous fight. Grimstroke uses 2 Dark Portraits on DB, and the fight just instantly ends. You actually don't need to use any other spells. Everything on top of that is just extra. They're still not gonna go for the high ground.
They're trying to hunt KJ. Oh, Mr. Treant, where are you going, buddy?
Only Medusa wants to end the
missile.
game. Rest of the team hunting for position 5 Treant Protector.
He's got a gem. He's got a gem. They don't see the gem. They've left the gem.
Radiant's middle tower.
Just sitting on the floor. Medusa hits tier 4s. There's also a DD rune down bottom that someone could go grab.
Oh, I see. They wanted to make Dark Portrait out of Treant to go for the high ground. Interesting, because what I just saw, I didn't notice that before. If you're holding a Philosopher's Stone on Grimstroke and you use Dark Portrait Illusion, it has minus 30 damage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Interesting.
Has fallen.
That's weird.
Like, you're not making an illusion of
Treant has
yourself.
Philosopher's Stone.
Oh, Treant has. Okay, that makes more sense.
Analog's in. Analog's dying. Analog's dead. Audio, he's going to walk out of the arena. BKB'd up, but he needs to sunder someone. He's half HP there. He gets it off finally, but hounded by Leo and Frank. Where's the Ravage? Any Ravage fans in chat? No, it's just going to be a runaway. Tide Hunter, it's on cooldown, losing everybody. Snapfire's gone, and Ravage, 20 seconds. Monster realizes he's got nothing left to do, so sits back in Fountain and calls GG, giving Lava the 2-0 victory.
NoPing, I felt like they needed to fight, but Lava did a very good job avoiding the team fights because they understood, like, we can't just go in and play against this super farm Tidehunter. Even though NoPing managed to pick up Aegis from the first Roche, they still didn't achieve anything from it. Lava did a very good job cutting into playing the bottom part of the map and taking out the tier 2 tower, which unlocks like a lot of potential to play bottom part also constantly. And you can't make any TP rotations, and you do not want to lose towers early on, especially with Treant Protector on your own team.
Yeah, it's like 2 games of NoPing kind of running around looking for that perfect fight. Game 1, scouted by traps and hawks and vision. Game 2, I think just game sense and reading the flow of the map, where Lava realized, like you say, they just don't want to battle. But a good solid 2-0 victory for Lava there. A little disappointing from NoPing in this series, though, going down 0-2 and looking like they're in that bottom part of the group with that relegation battle in hand. We'll pass it back to the panel and see what they think about the finishing touches to this first series of the day.
Well, Lava turning up the heat to go to a 2-0 victory over NoPing here. Felt very much like they were behind and then they just turned it up and won there. Arvo, why don't you talk me through what happened in that game?
I think that, I mean, I saw an improvement from NoPing for the first game, at least in the beginning, right? We talked about that they had to do better in the laning stage. They did. I think they played the early to mid game pretty well. But I think that again, let's call it the respect from Lava towards this early game lead worked really, really well for them. They played around the Terrorblade really well. They identified him as the only real threat, tried to constantly stop the control as well. What they did also well for Lava was that they constantly made sure that Kotaro had farm and space. So sometimes in the early game, they would have to sacrifice a bit of the rest of the team just to make sure Kotaro did a good job, and that was perfectly fine. They even concentrated some of the early resources around Frank to a degree, which I think was also really good because Frank is more of a tempo player than a DK was. And I think Lava are actually showing the Thunder Predator that we saw, 6 months ago. This was a very good game for them, in my opinion.
Do you agree, Bowie?
Yeah. So, like, to me, I think it was actually pretty similar game, the second one, in terms of, like, the NoPing mistakes. Obviously, I don't want to harp too much on that because I do want to say that Lava played really well. But just to reiterate a little bit, I think that NoPing, they have a really, and I think that's a very similar problem that SG has. Their series is coming right now, is that they can see a hero and just allow the hero to die and cut their losses. There was a fight, like they actually had a 3k goal lead close to the Dire Triangle, where Tidehunter already had used Ravage. He gets arenaed, and they just feel like they have to help, and the fight goes super poorly. They don't really use the ages that they got on the side of NoPing at all. And I really feel like that's a big problem for them. They really struggle to get the lane advantage and get their power spikes going because of weird mistakes. Just like really weird, odd mistakes. They get baited by someone running away. Like the Bisco series, Gojira was just running around and you would see 3 heroes chasing. And then, like, what is the actual benefit of getting that kill, of getting something done? Like, everyone else on the side of Biscos is farming and you could support. I feel like there are a lot of moments like this in this game, but Lava played really well. I think 2 very different drafts. They executed them pretty well. They were pretty patient in this game. Once they had the tools needed, they just pretty much won the game.
Mm-hmm. We spoke a lot in the first 2 panels here about the need for Lava to improve back to their previous kind of levels. They're probably almost definitely going to now be staying in Division 1 for the next season. Do you think they've shown enough in this series that they can return to being the squad that they were?
I think they're showing.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, go on. I think is that they're marching towards improvement, but NoPing, they're not doing that hot, so it's hard to tell whether it's going to be enough, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar actually. I do think that like in this game, yeah, NoPing made mistakes, but I felt like overall in the team fights they were just outclassed by Lava. Like Lava's understanding of team fights and their execution was very, very superior, and it's really hard to tell if that's like if that's you're seeing Lava in a really good state and they're improving on all their issues, or if Lava just completely outclassed this team because they just looked at the better team, like the better players rather, right? And I really want to see, like, to me, the real test of Lava's medal is what happens when Leo Style has a poor game. Like, what happens when he can't be the pillar of the team? Will Frank and Kotaro pick up the slack? Because until now, that's been their biggest issue. And I don't think this is a really representative game of that because Leo Style had 2 good games.
I think one of the major hallmarks of effective teams as well is they're able to capitalize on mistakes. So even if we could say that NoPing made a number of mistakes in this game, it did feel like Lava were always able to take advantage, and it never felt like they were also making the similar mistakes that would have led it to being a clowny game rather than a dominant game. So that's certainly encouraging. Any final thoughts on this series before we move on, Bowie?
No, I think you pretty much summed it up. Very interested to see what the next year is going to be like because, I mean, now we have NoPing and SG tied in the bottom, right? Mm-hmm. If for some reason SG wins the next series, then we're going to have 3 teams tied up in the bottom, and that could be there could be a tiebreaker there. If SG loses, then it's really hard for either NoPing or SG to climb their way back because there's not going to be anyone that they can surpass.
It's going to be a very tricky one. Do you have any hope for NoPing now? Or do you think that they can survive, Alvo?
It's out of their hands, right? They have to win their next series for sure, but they also do rely on other results, unfortunately.
Never the best feeling.
I think I'm just personally sad to think that in the first season of DPC we're going to get the two Brazilian teams completely out of the DPC. Like it's the region has already suffered a lot, particularly because Counter-Strike is so dominant in the region. They actually have another main game compared to Peru, where Dota is god, Dota is king, and the revitalization of SG was really important to the scene. Last season, all Brazilian teams looked really weak. They looked very bad, honestly. Even the only team that was looking good was Apple King of Kings or Binomistas, and they're looking better now as they reduce the Brazilians in their roster, little by little. Same, so that's not very good. And I think that it is really important to have one team like NoPing or SG to have stayed in Div 1, just because that's a big fanning of the flames there. So if they are the ones that drop, I hope that we get a Brazilian team to go up, like a fully Brazilian stack, and they revitalize the Dota a bit. I think they have the talent. I just feel like all this reshuffling is not really helping them. I think neither of the teams here hold a torch to the old SG, personally.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. We are going to be joined by Moose for an interview, I believe now. I think he is ready. Wonderful. Brilliant. Moose, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations for the victory there. Are you relieved to be staying in Division 1, or is it how are you feeling at the moment?
Hello. Are we in Division 1 still? I'm not really sure.
I think you're very likely to be in Division 1. Have you kind of thought about this, or are you just taking each game?
No, we're just taking each game. We're just looking for the bigger picture. But well, of course, I'm happy to stay in Division 1.
Mm-hmm. How did you feel that series went? You guys played really well. Do you feel it was a good series from you, or maybe a mistakey series from them?
I think we played really decent, and they were kind of like respecting us too much. They were a little bit passive in the map, so I guess we took advantage of that and just were out farming them in the map.
Mm-hmm. It's been quite a tough season for you guys so far, and maybe not quite up to expectations. How's the mood in the camp? Are you still very close, sticking together? Is there a strong belief that you can go on to turn the season around?
Yeah, I mean, for sure we cannot go for this major, but we still have like the goal that is for the next year. We know that it's going to be like very important to qualify for the next majors to achieve that goal. So we have to keep that in mind and keep having like the mind straight and not settle for any reason. Just keep improving as a team.
In that improvement, is it very much doing the things that you do well? Have you been trying to change up strategies, doing anything differently? Did we see anything different from you feel, this series, or is it just about returning to what made you so strong before?
Yeah, I mean, Dota is very complicated. I'm always saying like Dota is just like life. You can do a lot of things, but you have to find what works for you and keep doing that. So I think all the time we have been together, we tried a lot of things, and some things didn't work out for sure, and some things did. So the hard part is like to look and actually like see what is good for you and what can you do for your teammates to achieve all the potential of them. So I think that's the hard part as a captain. So that's what we have been doing, and yeah, that's why we have a good mood.
Great, good to hear. I'll pass over to Arvo and Bowie. Arvo and Barry, have you got any questions for Moose? No, none from them. Okay, that's brilliant. Thanks so much for joining us then, Moose. Congratulations for the series, and I hope your next series goes as well. And you continue to see a high level of play. So thanks so much for joining us. I'll let you go now.
Thanks to you.
Brilliant. Always
Dude,
good to
I
hear
love
from
him
him.
so much. He's so good with words. I was so inspired.
He's very
It's
smart.
Like, you just gotta find out what works for you, and that's the hard part. And I was like, wow,
Brilliant.
dude.
Any final thoughts on the series before we head off, Arvo, and on the interview?
I love it. Looking good. I'm excited. Moose interview. These players are very talented. I don't want it this bad, right? So I'm pretty excited. At least that's the good part for me. They might actually be able to pick this up, and if they do, this would be one of the best redemption stories ever. Slump for 6-8 months, go to TI, probably one of the worst performances. Like, they were competing with MUFC, trying to be the worst team ever going to TI, and then all of a sudden, They pick it up, they go to DPC, they stick together, they tough it out. I think it's a good storyline. I think people should listen to the storyline more. I thought SG would be that team, to be honest with you, but I'm happy that at least someone is trying to do that, because I think a lot of teams in Dota, they're way too willing to give up a bit too soon, and I really, really admire the tenacity of a lot of players.
Okay,
Yeah, I
well,
mean, that worked for OG, right? So it worked twice for OG, so maybe it could work for them as well.
Yeah, but less tenacity there. Less tenacity. I think it takes a lot of tenacity to go to TI like that, to have a really bad DPC performance. You didn't even qualify for second major, my dude. And they stayed together throughout. You know what? I give them more credit. Imagine MUFC staying together and not all the players retiring from Dota and never coming back again. Imagine.
Yeah, imagine if Winter wasn't a caster anymore. We'd see what happened.
He was not MUFC. He was not MUFC.
Was he not? I thought he was.
No, he got top 3 that TI. He got top 3.
Oh, God. Oh, I thought I had some incredible back knowledge there, but I completely forgot who's on MUFC. Okay, we'll leave it there then, and I will slink off in embarrassment. Thank you so much for joining me, Avo and Barry, and congratulations to Lava for winning this series. We'll be right back with another great South American Division 1 game. We'll see you very shortly after this quick break.